Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Adelina and I make videos about living in my tiny house on wheels and living a more intentional life. So today I want to talk about why did I decide to start a YouTube channel? How did I go about starting a YouTube channel? Some of the processes and advice that I found and really took to heart. And I'll show you a little bit about the equipment that I use. I don't have fancy equipment, and sort of give you my thoughts on the whole thing and why I really enjoy it. So the number one question I get related to that is, why did I start making YouTube videos in the first place? I know I've mentioned in some of my videos that I'm an introvert, and it seems very counterintuitive that an introvert would have a YouTube channel. I would argue that it's actually not counterintuitive. It actually makes a lot of sense because I'm sitting here talking to a camera. I'm not in a big group of people. I'm not sitting in front of a big crowd giving a presentation. I'm actually just sitting here, just having a coffee or a tea with a friend. And for me, that feels very doable. That feels very comfortable now. Whereas I think if I were in front of a big group of people, that would be a very different experience for me. So is it odd for an introvert to have a YouTube channel? No. In fact, I would guess that some of my favorite YouTubers are introverts, and maybe outgoing introverts like I am, but introverts at heart. I started making YouTube videos. I think my first video was at the end of 2019. And I've said before, at the end of that year, I had 3 subscribers, 2 of which were my kids. So why did I start making YouTube videos? I started making YouTube videos because I kept getting the same questions over and over again. People were asking me, why did I go tiny? How much did it cost? What builder did I use? How did I decide on the size? All of those things. And so I thought, instead of answering those questions over and over again, so I thought, okay, what I'll do is I will start making YouTube videos and until I run out of things to say, until I run out of questions to answer or things to talk about. And here we are in April of 2022, and I've yet to run out of things to talk about or questions to answer. So that's why I decided to start a YouTube channel, purely because I kept getting the same questions over and over again, and I just wanted to answer them in a way where I could refer people back to it. And also because what I noticed was when I was starting my tiny house journey, there was very little content for Canadians, very little content for tiny houses in Canada and tiny houses that were built for cold weather that we have here. And so it kind of made sense to sort of showcase Canadian resources and have answer questions that were specifically related to the unique considerations that we have here in Canada. I also get asked quite a bit, you know, what software do I use? What equipment do I use? What kind of experience do I have? That sort of thing. I have absolutely zero experience when it comes to any kind of content creation. I've always been a very crafty and creative person. I am an amateur artist. I don't paint very much anymore, but I used to quite a bit. Draw and paint, quilted, sewed. I've always been very creative. You know how much I love to cook, and I consider that kind of a creative process as well. But when it comes to media, absolutely zero experience. Don't let that stop you. Like, I didn't know anything about this medium other than I enjoyed watching it. But all you have to do is go to YouTube University and look up videos, and you can find instructional videos on how to do anything. So the first thing I had to figure out was, how do I even set up a YouTube channel? I had zero experience with that as well. So I just searched on YouTube how to set up a YouTube channel. I found one of my favorite resources online on YouTube for how to do all of this is Think Media. I will link them down below because that channel was probably my #1 resource when it came to setting up a YouTube channel, learning how to film videos, learning how to edit, all of those things, how to do thumbnails, all of those things was Think Media. I would recommend them 1000%. You will find a video, multiple videos on every topic. So that's what I did. I searched on YouTube, I found Think Media, I found the video that went step by step on how to set up a YouTube channel. I had that on my TV, I had my laptop in front of me. I paused as I did each step and I set up my channel. I already knew what my name was going to be, and it came, My Big Tiny House Life name came from something that my builder said one time when we were building. She said something about living my best big tiny life, and that really stuck with me, and I remember making a note about that. And so when I was thinking about what to name the channel, My Big Tiny House Life was just came to me right away, because it works in so many different ways. It works because my tiny house is not a tiny house. It's a fairly big tiny house. So there's that. Also, I think that it speaks to the fact that even though I have downsized so much and I live in a much smaller space and I have a lot fewer things, my life actually feels so much bigger and freer than it was before I moved into my tiny house. So that's why I chose the name My Big Tiny House Life. So when you decide that you're going to start a YouTube channel, and I think everybody should because it's fun, I think it's important to think of a good name, one that people will remember and one that really speaks to what you're talking about. You want your channel name to be big enough that you can talk about multiple things, but also clear enough, specific enough that when people are searching and they see it, they kind of know what it is. At least that's, in my opinion, what I think. So that's how I figured out how to set up a YouTube channel, was actually a video from Think Media. One of the hurdles I really had to get over was my my discomfort with actually seeing myself on video, hearing my voice on a recording, because I have never liked, I'm very much like my mother that way. I've never liked being in photographs. I never liked the sound of my voice on recordings, answering machines, or anything like that. And so that was a real big barrier for me. But I watched a video again when on Think Media, and it really stuck with me. And what he said was, you just got to press record. You just have to start videoing, and you have to accept the fact that you're going to hate the way you look on it. You're going to hate the way you sound. You're going to cringe when you watch them again, and that down the road you're going to look back at them and you're going to roll your eyes at how bad they were. That's okay. You have to just press record and keep doing it. Keep pressing record, keep videoing, and eventually you will get used to it. And I doubted that that was going to happen, but it surprisingly did happen. And it didn't take that long. It took a couple months before I started to get comfortable with being in front of the camera, but also with seeing, like watching the video back, hearing my voice, and that editing process. And yeah, Sophie, on the other hand, has always been very natural in front of the camera, and never had a problem with the way she looked and sounds. Every time I sit down to film a video, I have a cup in my hand if I'm at home, but I also just treat it like I'm having a coffee with a friend, and that helps me get out of my head so much and be able to film these videos without obsessing about what does it look like, what does it sound like, sort of thing. Obviously I want the video to be well laid out and all of that, but I don't fixate on that. You'll notice that my videos don't have the highest production value. I don't have multiple cameras and filters and things like that. They're very, very much just sitting and having a coffee with a friend, which is how I think of you guys. And that helps me get past the fact that I'm videoing and actually just immerse myself in the topic that I'm discussing in each video. Another thing that I learned, which was really valuable, was that you should find your own style. Like, watch a ton of YouTube video creators that you really like and you really admire. And that's really important, because then you get a feel for how videos are laid out and how, you know, sort of things are edited together. That's really important. And you also get a sense of what sort of style you want your content to be. But you got to remember that if you're copying somebody else's style, then it's not going to feel genuine. It's not going to feel like it won't be you, and your viewers will notice that, right? Like, you want the people that you're talking to, you want to make a connection with them, and you want to it to be natural and organic. And the only way it's going to do that is for you to find your own style. So that was really important to me, to sort of settle into my own style. If you look back at my first videos, they're not very good, but I leave them there because they're important. That was the beginning, and I like to watch, well, actually I don't like to watch any of my videos back. I still can't get past that, but I do watch them after I've posted them, just to make sure everything's okay. I watch them at least once. But my point is that when I look back at the beginning, I didn't have a style. There wasn't sort of a feel, a cohesive sort of feel and style to my videos. That came over time. But eventually I settled into it. And I think that that's really important for anybody who wants to do this sort of thing. Find creators that you really like, watch how they do their videos, do a lot of research, and watch videos on how to film and things like that. And then just settle into your own style, because your style will be very different than mine and everybody else's. I think it's really important to take inspiration from other creators' styles and then find your own and sort of settle into that. When it comes to actual filming, I watched this one creator's how-to video, and I wish I could remember her name. I'll try and find it. I'll try and link these videos down below if I can find them again. And one of the things she said, which really stuck with me, and I do, is to do clips versus doing one long take and then having to edit out stuff, to do shorter clips that you can then put together. They're much easier to edit and more manageable, and that was very good advice. So I will do clips of, you know, usually a couple minutes, 4 or 5 minutes each, sometimes a little bit longer depending on the topic that I'm talking about. And then I will put those together in the video editing process. Do your video in clips versus in shorter chunks versus one long unbroken piece. So when it comes to YouTube videos, you'll notice that whenever you go on YouTube, you see the little pictures that are above the title for the video that you click on, and those are called thumbnails. You probably already know that. I knew what they were called as well, but I had no idea how to create them. I had no idea what they should look like, that sort of thing. I still don't have a unified thumbnail that looks the same all across the board. I know that a lot of creators, some creators do, their thumbnails are always the same. They just have a slightly different picture in them, but they have the same colors, same layout for every single one. I don't do that. I kind of like to play around with mine. But what you'll notice is that in virtually all, you will see my face. That is not because I love to see my face on a thumbnail at all. But I was watching a video, a tutorial on thumbnails. One of the things they said is that viewers are a lot more likely to click on a video where the thumbnail shows the person's face. versus just text or just a picture of something else. That was really interesting to me. It kind of made sense, I guess, because people make a connection with a person more readily. But I had to get past the discomfort of doing that, because again, not only am I now putting my mug on a video, I'm now putting it on a thumbnail. And so I started doing that after I watched that video. And I think it does make a difference. The people who are my subscribers are expecting my video. And when they see the thumbnail, they already know it's me. It's much easier for them to find my content. I think that's really important. I think also for viewers who are new to the channel, who are finding my videos because they come up on their feed, that's the term, or they are searching for a specific topic, they're more likely to click on my video if they see my face. I don't know the psychology behind it, but it's advice that I got from that video tutorial, and I also saw in other video tutorials about making thumbnails. So it's advice that I would give as well. I think that that's important to help make that connection with new viewers and for your existing subscribers to find your videos. Which brings us to, what camera do I film on? Up until about a month and a half ago, I was filming on my iPhone 6, iPhone 7, iPhone 6, iPhone 7, one of the two. I think the iPhone 7, that was it. I was filming on the iPhone 7. There's this other channel, YouTube channel, that I watched with, I think it was Dean Nimmin, or was it his brother? Both their channels are great. One of them is about filming on your phone versus on a vlogging camera or a filming, more professional camera. And the other one is just about YouTube videos and how to film and how to create content, stuff like that. Love them both. We'll link them down below. I watched a tutorial on how to film YouTube videos on your phone, and it's super simple. I mean, these iPhones are amazing. Even the 7 had a great camera. It's what I had, and I told myself I wasn't going to spend any money on a new camera or anything like that unless I wanted to continue to do this and maybe grow a bit. So I've been filming on the iPhone 7 up until about a month and a half ago. A month and a half ago, I got an iPhone 12. And that's what I'm filming on right now. That's what's in front of me on that tripod is an iPhone 12. I'm using the front face selfie camera. The rear cameras are much better, and you have a lot more flexibility with wide angle and stuff like that. But the problem with the rear facing camera is that I can't see if I'm in shot and how everything looks. And I find that really distracting. I'm working on that though, because I know that it's better for filming, but right now, this is fine. You can see me, you can hear me, that's all that matters. So I don't actually have a professional camera or an expensive camera or anything like that. Down the road, because photography and now videography has become a hobby for me and something that I really want to learn more about and I'm interested in, I would like to get a better camera. But for now, the phone works great. You always have it, so you can always turn it on and you can always start filming. You don't have to go and get your camera, put on a lens or anything like that. And that's a real plus. So, I'd say, like they advised in that video, start with what you have. Use your phone. You've always got it. The cameras on these suckers are great. There's no reason to put off starting because you don't have a fancy camera. Use your phone. You likely already have a smartphone, and so why spend money on a camera to do something that you're not sure you're going to do long term? That's what I did, and that's what I continue to do. I don't know when I will get a professional camera. I've certainly watched lots of videos on the best sort of budget cameras to get for filming YouTube videos and vlogs. Just start with what you have is my piece of advice when it comes to equipment. As far as your camera, just start with what you have. So people also ask me, what kind of editing software do I use? Do I use Final Cut Pro, or I can't remember what the other one is. No, Adobe something or other. No, I use iMovie. Now, should I probably move to something else? Probably. There's a lot more features in these other editing software programs that would help make my videos look a little better, sound a little better, flow a little better. And I have looked at, I think it's Final Cut Pro, that is the Apple version. I have played around with the free tutorial of it. But that means I have to learn something new. And I got to tell you, iMovie is super easy to use, very intuitive, and to date, I've been able to do everything that I want to do on iMovie. I could do a lot more of the fun, cool little features that I could use if I had one of these other software programs. I still use iMovie, and it works out just fine. I hope this doesn't sound weird, but when I'm editing my videos, I actually don't think of it as me on the screen. I've now done it so much that I'm watching, it feels like I'm watching somebody else. So it's so much easier to edit now and watch the video back to make sure everything's okay than it was at first. At first it felt really weird. It felt very self-centered and conceited to be putting myself on a video and out there, to putting myself on a thumbnail and out there. Now, I have a cousin who lives in Toronto, Cleo, and he is a professional filmmaker and videographer. And one of the things that he told me when I first started this was, people will forgive, bad video quality, but people will not stick around if the sound is not good. So one of the things I did shortly into this whole process was get one of these lavalier mics. My tether. And what it does is allows me to have much better sound quality for my videos than just the camera microphone. Now, the iPhone 12 camera microphone is better than the iPhone 7, and even the iPhone 7 camera microphone was pretty good as long as you were pretty close. But for these sit-down videos, I knew I wanted to spend a little bit of money on getting a decent microphone so that you guys would be able to hear me properly. I watched multiple YouTube videos on the best lavalier mics for the price, and I'm pretty sure it was another Think Media video, and I ended up buying one that they recommended. And I really like it. I think it does a great job. It's super easy to use. It plugs right into my phone with a little adapter, and it gives me great sound. I do think a wireless mic is handy, especially when I'm cooking and things like that. Sometimes when I'm cooking, I will just go with the microphone from the phone, or I do have a little other microphone that I can clip onto the cage that's holding the light and the phone right now. But it doesn't do as well. The lavalier mic really does a much better job, so I do wear it most of the time. If the video quality isn't great, I don't mind. But if the sound quality is not good, then I find myself not watching as long as I would normally, because it's distracting. It can be a little annoying. Sometimes you can't help it. You don't realize that the sound is bad. Sophie, got a cat hair on my nose. You don't realize the sound is bad until you're in editing and it's too late to refilm it. So sorry in advance, or in hindsight for some of the videos where the sound hasn't been great, but I just didn't notice it. But in general, this works, and as long as I have it plugged in properly, it always works. And it's one of those things that is worth spending a little bit of money on, but you don't need to spend a lot of money on. Go onto Amazon, which is where I've gotten all of my equipment except for my iPhone, and look at the ratings and get one that's well rated, that isn't a fortune. Another thing that's really handy is this little thing, which is a remote control for your camera, your phone in this case. It's a Bluetooth remote control, and it sure makes it handy because before I got this little sucker, I had to crawl to the phone every single time to turn it on, get back and get settled, and then start talking. Whatever you're ordering often will have one of these. Definitely useful. Get yourself one of these. I'm not sure how well you can see that. Of course, I'm filming on the camera on my new phone, and I've got that light on. Hold on, let me turn that light off. This little setup is what I use mostly when I'm cooking. This is the first light that I ever bought for use. Let me see if I can get that off. There we go. And it just has several settings and brightness. Super easy to use. It just mounts on this. I bought this little cage because I could mount multiple things on here. It has these shoes, I think they're called, shoe mounts. Hey, Soph. And basically, that's my setup. I either have this tripod with this setup using this light, or I put usually that cage into that ring light so that I can use that and get better lighting. Then I upgraded to this light, which is a ring light. I'll just get up here and give you a better look at it. And while still using my phone, I was now able to have better light. I have lost the controller for that ring light, which is very frustrating, because that means that I can't control the brightness on it. I can manually on it control whether it's cool light or warm light, but I can't control the brightness, so it's very frustrating. It's here somewhere. I suspect it's under that sofa. Yeah, how can I lose something in a house this small? But human nature. That ring light, though, is really great, and I do recommend it. It wasn't expensive. Again, I'll link all the things that I use down below. When I started filming, I invested in the little light that's on the cage right now that I've shown you, and then as time went on, I decided to get a better light and ended up getting the big ring light. Didn't cost me a lot. Came with the what do you call those things? Tripod. Oh my God, Sophie, I'm losing my mind. It came with the big tripod and it plugs in. It's awesome. Definitely money well spent. I store all of this equipment in the little cubby that is just on the side of the stairs up to the bedroom here, just above the furnace. It all fits in there really well because it all folds up really small. The first thing that I bought was the cage that is holding the phone right now and the little light. It came with the tripod. That was super inexpensive. Then I bought the lavalier mic. That was the next piece that I ordered. And then I bought that ring light. Having a YouTube channel can be anything you want it to be. It can be something as simple as your family vacations, or something as professional as tutorials or content that you put out there that is very technical. There are YouTube channels for everything. There are YouTube channels out there that have millions of subscribers, and all they are is people watching somebody play video games. Now, I don't understand the appeal of that, but obviously there's an appeal for it because there's a huge market for it, and I think that's amazing. What that tells me is it doesn't matter what you want to make videos about. There will be people out there who want to watch videos of it. It could be knitting and crocheting. It could be grooming your dog or your cat. It could be living in a tiny house, converting a cargo van into a camper van. Anything that you're interested in, somebody else is interested in. I guarantee you. And so therefore, if you're looking for videos on it, so is somebody else. And that was sort of my thought process when I realized that there were people out there that were interested in this content. I was a little surprised, to be honest with you. I think in the first year I maybe got 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers, and now as of this filming I'm at just over 31,000 subscribers. Interestingly, only about 55% of my viewers are subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. It really helps the channel grow, and it helps YouTube know that these videos are of value, and it will therefore recommend them to more people. That's how you grow the channel, is to show YouTube's algorithm that your channel has content that people want to see. So when you give the video a thumbs up or thumbs down, it doesn't matter because it's an interaction. And now YouTube doesn't show the thumbs up or down anymore, so I don't see whether you give the video a thumbs up or thumbs down. But every time you do, it's an interaction, and YouTube's algorithm captures that. If you make a comment, which by the way is awesome, I love your comments, I really do. I try and respond to all of them. Sometimes if I'm super busy, I can't leave a big response, but I do read them all, and I try to at least give them a happy face or a smiley face, or even just a thanks. But every time you comment on somebody's YouTube channel, again, the YouTube algorithm picks that up. So all of those things really help the channel grow. So I guess my point is that YouTube can be whatever you want it to be. You can do it sporadically, or you can decide that you're going to make it like a side job, a side hustle, and you're going to commit to a publishing schedule, which is what I've done. When I first started, it was once a week, and then I decided, because I love cooking videos and I love cooking, I decided that I would start doing cooking videos. Then I decided, okay, I'll do twice a week. Now, if I don't get a Wednesday video done, I'm not as strict about that. I really do try and do that. But sometimes, because this isn't my full-time job, and I have a day job that is quite demanding and keeps me very busy, sometimes Wednesday videos just aren't possible. Sundays, weekend videos, Sundays is when I publish a video at least once a week on a Sunday. If you want your channel to grow, if you ever want it to be monetized so that you can earn some money from it, you do have to commit to a schedule so that the people who are watching your videos know what to expect. I think that's really important, that you don't take the people who are watching your videos for granted. They don't have to watch your videos. There's lots of other channels on YouTube. You have to give them something that they can count on, and I think that that's important, but only if your goal is to grow your channel. If your goal is to just put out content that your friends and family will see, that's a ton of fun, don't worry about it. Just enjoy the process. I see spider. I don't like spiders. Okay. Where's Jamie when I need them? Jamie's my spider catcher. My youngest. I'm going to try and forget that spider is sitting there on my wall watching me. No good. I'll leave you with just a couple of things. First of all, just because other people are doing videos on the topic you want to do videos on should not at all slow you down or stop you. Because we don't only just watch one channel. I don't only watch one cooking YouTube channel, or one van life YouTube channel, or one tiny house YouTube channel. We watch multiple. So don't worry about it. If there's a market for it, then another channel that has the same type of content is a plus. That's number one. Number two, start with what you have. Start with the equipment you have. If you have a smartphone, then start filming on that. Do not wait until you have all the equipment that more advanced YouTubers are using. Don't wait until you've done all the tutorials. Just press record and just start making videos. Just start putting them out there, because you will learn as you go, and you will build confidence as you go, and you will start to enjoy the process. Or you will realize you hate the process, and then you'll stop, and you won't have spent a fortune on equipment that you won't use. Start with what you have Just turn on some lamps around you, put your phone on a couple of books, or if you have a tripod, put it on that, and then just press record. Use the mic on the phone for now. Use the free iMovie software if you have a Mac. I don't know what's free on PCs to edit. Watch a couple of video tutorials on YouTube to learn how to do all of those things, how to build your thumbnails, how to set up your channel, all of those things, and then just start doing it. And as you're doing it, you'll then slowly start to accumulate other equipment. But I still don't think it needs to be expensive at all. Don't let that stop you from starting. Just get started. Realize you're going to hate the way you look, you're going to hate the way you sound, and just get over it. I did have somebody say to me, they thought that, this whole, starting a YouTube channel, they weren't talking about me specifically, I guess, but that it seemed a little self-centered and conceited for people to do that, which kind of hurt my feelings. But it's not, because what you're doing is you're putting out content that people want to see. It's no different than watching a TV show or a movie. That's content that is being created because people want to see it. And it doesn't matter what your topic is, there's somebody that wants to watch it, and you will end up meeting some amazing people virtually. I realize that this is not in person, that you guys are not people that I've met in person, but I get comments from the same people on every video, virtually every video, and you become friends to me. Like you matter to me. I don't know how that works. And despite what some people say that it's those connections aren't real, I disagree. This has been something that has meant a lot to me throughout the pandemic, and will continue to mean a lot to me, because when I think of you guys, I think of you as friends. And so when I'm talking in my videos, I'm talking to you as friends, and it makes it so comfortable. And the community that you have built here is just so supportive and positive. I don't allow negative comments on my channel, because that's not who I am, and that's not who you are, and that's not what we've built here. We've built a community where we lift each other up, where we share ideas, and we cheer each other on, and I love that. So for me, I look forward to making my videos every week. I look forward to uploading them. I look forward to your comments. It means a lot to me, and I just want to thank you. And so I will continue to make videos until I run out of things to talk about. So keep letting me know what you want me to talk about. Keep asking those questions. Keep making suggestions for future videos. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to this whole YouTube thing. It's super easy to set up. It doesn't need to be intimidating. It certainly doesn't need to be expensive. The pandemic really made it clear to me how important this medium is. When we couldn't be face-to-face and we couldn't make connections in real life, it proved to me that the connections that we're making here are just as valid, just as real, even though they're virtual. I hope you're doing well. Please don't forget to subscribe, and in a world where you can be anything, be kind. I love you guys. I'll see you next week.